Good afternoon, good morning, students. For today's first session of SAP, we have Nagraj sir with us. I think there are 101 attendees, so we will wait for 5 to 6 minutes. And once the attendees more join, we will start the class soon. Just stay tuned. Sir is also there. He will be also having chat with you regarding any classes related things you want to discuss. Thank you, sir. You can start your class, sir.
Thank you so much, Kunal. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
all
morning, sir.
students. Yeah, so warm welcome. So as usual, I will be very much available, but I would have muted myself. So we'll wait for the other students to join, maybe say, as Mr. Kunal said, maybe say for another 4 or 5 minutes. Then we will start, provided you do not have any questions. I'm ready to take up any questions, but we'll wait, okay? We'll wait for a couple of more minutes. 1:44. I think we can start off in another minute or so. We'll do that, okay? Good morning, good morning. Exactly in 1 more minute, we'll start, okay?
Sir, I have already dismissed some inappropriate only registration number which they have posted. I have dismissed that. Only two questions are there. We will take afterward or whatever you can say. Okay, sir.
Yeah, Kunal, I heard you. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So what are these two questions? Revise only the important part because yesterday I had internet, so I could not attend yesterday's. Will you please show the Fury app display or an overview of that? I don't know if I can tell you that I can try doing this, but I'm not very sure. All right, I will. I don't know how to show you the Fury app. Okay. And one Sandeep has asked, definitely. Okay. And Kajal, I'll definitely try my best to do this, but I don't know how far I'll be able to show you. But see, how does a Fury app look like? See on the screen, can you see this add content, add video or content, live event? These are probably you can just imagine this is your mobile, what you are seeing. And I have the different tiles being broken up like this. See, I have a queue out here, live event, I have an end, I have presenters, I have you. So as many, what should I say? As many transactions for which I am authorized to, these many, what should I say? Tiles, as I used the term tiles yesterday. So these many tiles I can create. This is how your Fury app looks like. I'm just giving you a small example. I'm just exemplifying what is really what your question was, but exactly this is the way it looks like. You can see various blocks on your mobile, maybe say 2 or 3 blocks because you will be authorized probably only to 2 or 3 transactions in your organization. So you have a tiles. So probably this portion will be your journal entry screen. This will be your customer data entry. This will be your customer report, whatever. I hope you got a fair idea about how a Fury app looks like. Clear? So let's get on with the what we were trying to discuss yesterday. We got into another major topic called as in management accounting. So we also came to know that the management accounting is for your internal reporting purposes, where the reports are restricted only to the top level management. Why is it so? It is to restrict the sensitive information, and it is to help the top level management for any strategic decision making. Okay. So while we were going through the controlling module, we broke it up into maybe 3 or 4 submodules, or maybe say even more. COPA, product costing, PC, material ledger, right? So just like we saw the GL, AR, AP, asset accounting, banking, taxation in your finance side of SAP, here we are seeing these kind of scenarios or these kind of submodules in the management accounting module. Clear? Now, I also made a point yesterday saying that one controlling area can have n number of company codes, but one company code can report to only one controlling area. Did you understand this point? I'll repeat. One controlling area can have n number of company codes, and vice versa, one company code cannot have more than one controlling area, cannot report to more than one controlling area. It's like you report your immediate boss, right? You do not report to the topmost person in your organization. You report to your immediate boss. It could be your team lead or it could be your project manager, whoever it is. So same logic holds good for your setting up also. Just like your head office and the company code, one head office can have n number of company codes, but one company code cannot have more than one head office. Logical, right? Same arrangement goes to this also, right? Now, yesterday we were discussing, so we also discussed that this module, I will also add some more lines to the statement what I made yesterday. I said there is a complex connection of the other modules when you are talking about the CO module. Say your finance module, your MM module, your SD module, PS module, HR module, they all talk to this CO module. But now we have seen in the finance module, everything was happening directly. You could see what was happening in the system, correct? But here, the things are not so very straightforward. So many things will be happening in the back, especially when you're talking about setting up of a controlling area. There are lots and lots of things which are happening in the background. And suppose you want to, let us say there is an issue raised as far as the management accounting module is concerned. It is actually a very, very, should I say tricky or should I say complex? Okay. It is a little, it's a bigger task than that of your finance module to find out from where this particular transaction is originating from. Clear? Now, we saw a few masters in our controlling module. One was the cost center. So you saw the cost center yesterday, correct? So we also understood the process of how the consultant creates the cost center, or maybe say any master data in your CO area, controlling area. So what is the difference when you construct something in your finance area and you're constructing something in your CO area? What is the difference? Major difference is whatever you are creating in your CO area must necessarily be done on a built up skeleton or a built up structure. You have a backbone, on you design a backbone and on which you start bringing in the elements. What elements? The organizational elements as far as the CO module is concerned. So what were the elements in your finance module? Your chart of accounts, your fiscal year variant, posting period variant, field status variant, account groups, tolerance groups. All these were a part of your finance. Okay, organizational elements or organizational objects by whatever name you want to call. Clear? Now, just let us hope that let us assume that we have created a cost center. You want me to show you the place where we saw the cost center yesterday? I will take you through that. I'm logging into the system. So I'll go to the as an end user, the person who's authorized to create the cost centers or any master data in your CO module, he goes to the controlling option goes to cost center accounting, master data, standard hierarchy, or say it directly creates the cost center. A is 0, 1. Okay, so I already have some cost centers within the GM01 controlling area. If you want to display, you can display F4 because I can see the icon, the drop down icon next to that field. Let me extract 10 cost centers. I don't think I have created more than 10, but so these are the cost centers which I have created in my GM01 CO area. Okay, now I'll pick up anything, not necessarily. I'll pick up something P005. If I want to display, I can display. So what is this P0005? It is a bunker drilling. It is a department in your organization called as a bunker drilling. Somebody else has created. I'm not worried. Yeah. All right. So this is how you see the cost center. Now, where are you going to use this? So even before we go to the question of where you are going to use the created cost centers, how does the consultant in the very initial stages, he understands and he assumes that he needs to create, say, some X number of cost centers. How does he do it? There is a specific structure. All right, you saw the structure. Where is the structure? I will show you, not to worry. Controlling, general controlling. Do you know where I am? I am in the consultant script. All right, organization, maintain controlling area. So I'll pick up something at random, either 0001 or say anything. Can you see that there is a standard hierarchy which has been created for 0001 CO area? So it is mandatory that you create the structure even before you start creating any of the data as far as CO module is concerned. Now I will go back to my GM01 controlling area position, GM01, double click. Now you see that I have created the structure GM01 underscore CCTR. All right. Now, where do you see the structure? Cost center accounting, master data, cost centers, standard hierarchy. Normally, this is the transaction code. This is a transaction by which the consultant creates the structure as well as the cost centers also with the structure. Clear? Now, just scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Can you see the structure? GM01 underscore CCTR. You saw that in the master controlling area. You saw that in your controlling area. So under this, you start creating the structure as desired by your business partner or desired by your implementing partner. Okay, now I have assumed the structure, indirect cost centers, direct cost centers. All right, so under which I am creating certain cost centers. Under the indirect, I have executive canteen and the non-executive canteen. So under the direct cost centers, I have the production department. I have fabrication department, bunker drilling machine, painting department, assembly department, milling department, foundry department. How many ever departments you have the requirement to create? So those many departments you are creating for your business. Now, where are you going to use this P006, P003 and various things like that? Now, I'll just leave this screen like this. I'll open another session. I'll try to enter, or let us say, a simple journal voucher. Okay. Please ensure that you are in your company code, some expense. Okay. I'll pick up. Okay, I'll pick up some standard where I was using earlier. 2,500 rupees for test postage charges. Okay, thanks. That's okay. Now, against which department I am expending this test postage charges, I want to enter the data. I want to enter the cost center. Let us say P003. P0003. So again, I'm getting a yellow message, GL account relevant to tax. Create account. See, did you see the message? So I cannot use the cost center till I have defined a specific expense account as a primary cost element in my system. Since this is not a primary cost element, I have not created this particular test postage account as a primary cost element. This is not accepting this cost center and it's a red error. Can you see this? Now let me try to use another GL. I'll delete this. Enter. I'll try to enter another GL. Okay, I'll exit out of this and I will try to use a GL account which I have defined as a primary cost element. Clear? Now let me pick up a GL account which I have created as a cost element. So whatever GL accounts I have created as cost elements, I would have predefined it as a CE cost element. See, CE spare parts. Now let me try to use this general ledger account. Have I used any other CE water charges? No problem. See, cost element postage. Okay. I will debit, say some 2,500 rupees. Now you see how the system behaves. Now I'm not going to enter any cost center. Just watch how the system behaves. Enter. GL account is relevant to tax. Perfect. It is in yellow. So it is just an information. It would have asked me actually. No problem. No problem. Now I will enter the cost center P0003. GL account is relevant to tax. See, create GL account. Why haven't have I not created this? Okay, let me create this GL account as a cost element. Now, where do I create this as a cost element? I'll open another session. Go to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger. Just hold on. Controlling. I'll close this financial accounting. Controlling. Cost element. Master data. Cost element. Individual. I will have to create this general ledger account as a primary cost element. So what was the GL account? 473010. So I want to create this. Enter. Cost element category. I'll fix this as a primary cost, whatever, and I'm going to save it. Cost element has been created. Now this has been created, this GL account, which has been created in your operational chart of accounts, is now being added a new feature. It is now as a primary cost element. Now I'll come out of this data entry and re-enter again. Or let me see if the system accepts. No. So I'll come back again and enter the same general ledger account, same transaction. $473010, 2,500. I'm debiting and I'm crediting a bank account. Credit, same amount. Now, in the very first stage, I'm simply going to keep quiet. I'm not entering the cost center. But now you see the difference. I have created this as a primary cost element. Enter. So GL account is relevant to tax. Perfect. See, now do you see the language of the product? Now do you see the language what SAP uses? Now it says account number, same general ledger account, needs an assignment to the CO object and the error is in red. Now do you see the behavior of the system? Now I definitely need to enter any one of the cost objects. It could be an internal order, it could be a cost center, it could be whatever. Now I'm enter the cost center. Now see, now the system will accept this entry. Happily it will accept. See, CTRG is not assigned to business area. Oh my God. Let me just check what is the error. Okay, now what was the error? I'll just pick up the error. Not assigned to a business area. Now, why is it asking me for a business area? Okay, maybe something wrong. Let me just, it's asking me for a cost center. Where is this? Is it asking me for a business area? Okay, let me get into the. Just hold on. Guys, please don't get confused. What was the GL account? Just asking me for the business area. Why should this ever ask me for a business area? Okay, okay. Now I got the idea. Just hold on. You remember I had made a statement, you need to learn and unlearn. So please unlearn all this and learn whatever I'm telling. Okay, forget all these things. Okay, this is not for you. This is how the consultant struggles to get the system right. Okay, I had to set the. Just hold on, people. Don't get into how I'm rectifying the system. Okay, understand the logic behind why the system is behaving that way. Business area is suppressed. That was the reason. Okay, don't worry, don't worry. Don't ask me how I rectified this error. It is beyond your. Okay, I'll re-enter this. Let me see if I have got out of that error. All right. But just know that this is defined as a cost element now, and I am not entering the cost object relevant to tax. That's okay. Requires an assignment to the CO object. Now it is an error in red. Or I can use central game to a business area. Just hold on. Okay, I'll use this cost center. Okay. Now do you see SAP is happily accepting the entry. See, but you cannot do it without the entry for your cost center. You can simulate. Just hold on. I'll post this entry. So document was successfully posted 148. Now I'll see this document. I think by now you should be quite comfortable with the transaction codes FB03. Can you see the cost center? Okay. Now just hold on. I'll go to the general ledger account balances. I think you are all aware of FBL3N, GL account balance. All right. Do you see the cost center anywhere? Right. No, you don't see it. Now I'll bring in that cost element. Just hold on. Hmm. Okay, I'll put this next to the where do I put this? Next to the assignment, next to the document number, or next to the business area. I'll put this next to the posting key or next to the amount. Okay. Okay. Now you will see the cost. Okay, against this particular primary cost element, which I defined, correct? It asked me how did the system behave? Even before I defined any P&L account as a primary cost element, the system was okay with accepting the transactions even without the cost center or even without any reference to the cost object. It could have been an internal order, it could have been a whatever, it could have been a cost center, whatever. It could have been a WBS element. Clear? Now, because I defined this general ledger account as a cost element, primary cost element in my system, now the system started behaving differently. It definitely started asking me for a cost object. And it only then it proceeded. Else it stopped me. I could not proceed at all. So now did you see how the system behaves? So this is how you start using the cost objects. It could be your internal order. Now, if you go and see the data entry, so you know why we use /n if B50. I am in a display cost center, but I want to get back to the document entry. Now, on the right, can you see a list of the fields being spread across your business area, your trading partner, cost center, internal order, something related to your budget, sale order. So you see so many fields spread across. You can also see the WBS element. Can you see the WBS element? So your internal order, your cost center, your WBS element, all these are your cost objects. So whenever you define a GL account, so what was the GL account? That was a simple P&L account 473010, which was the postage account. And I created that that particular P&L account as a cost element. Clear so far? Did you understand how we use the cost centers, how we create them? So yesterday we saw the internal orders also. We saw a bit of internal orders. And here, when you create an internal order, instead of entering the cost center, you enter the order, internal order. See, internal order. But once you have defined a GL account as a primary cost element, you will have to enter some cost object for the entry to get posted. Clear? Any questions? Let me just see. Cost center access not given in practice module. No, you're asking me a question or see, it all depends. If you're talking about from the behavior aspect of the system, it may not be given. Not everybody could be given a access to the cost center. Yeah. Among all the end users also, not many of them could be given access to the master data at all. Okay. Did you understand how the system behaves? I'll just maybe say break for 2 minutes and allow you to ask me questions. Any topic. There is no restriction as to you should ask me questions related to only this topic. All right.
Sir,
Kunal.
I have shared one image with you. The student
Okay.
was asked the Fury overview and all.
Correct, correct, correct.
I think that image can help you to make it clear for him.
Sure, sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can, but what is the logic? Both internal order as well as the cost center. I mean, see, you should always have a logic. Why you are doing this? Clear? Because here cost center is a different functionality. Your internal order is used for a different functionality. Clear? You should give me a business scenario as to why you would want to enter both your cost center as well as your internal order. Normally, it is on any one of them, not both. So you should give me a business scenario where you need to enter both. Could be acceptable. But what is a business scenario? Now we know what is an internal order. Now we know what is a cost center. Why would you want to enter both? Where does profit center show in SAP? Okay, I will show you. Kunal, will they be able to understand what is a statistical receiver?
Might be, sir. They are like, it is depend on how they are.
Exactly, because statistical thing is a different understanding altogether. So most
Okay,
of them would not be in a position to understand the complex answers what you're giving.
got it. I think I will answer it there. You can explain them easily. That
Sure, sure,
can
sure.
help them.
See, what really was meant by the statistical, the word statistical is, there are two concepts. One is things could happen only for the information purposes. That is what is called as a statistical. The other one is operational. You would definitely need it for your operations. So I would stop explaining this. Your statistical creations are only for your informational purposes. That's it. You also create statistical internal orders also. But why? So that concept, let us not get into it. Probably it's a little, it'll be a little too much for you to understand at this moment. Don't bother. Where does the cost center show in SAP? Okay. Can we get access in CO module from you? My dear, you are asking a wrong person the wrong question. Okay. So regarding the profit center. All right. I will show you where you can enter the cost center, where you see the profit center in your transaction. Can you see? In the same screen, you can enter the profit center also. Is this what was expected by the question what you asked? Or do you want me to get into the profit center master data also? I will show you. I will also show you the profit center master data. Just hold on. But you asked me a question. Where do you see the profit center? I'm showing you the. Clear? Now, guys, please allow me a 2-minute break. Okay, I will join you just in 2 minutes. Okay. And in the meantime, people who have asked me questions, please let me know if I have answered your queries, especially as regards the profit center and questions like that, right? So I'll just take a brief pause out here. I'll pause for a little time. How to make a purchase order. Please wait. That is going to be our next topic. Okay. So how to simply create a purchase order, I can tell you right now. So just hold on. So if somebody wants to see how a purchase order is in ME21, this is a place where you see the purchase order, ME21M. It is your create purchase order. Just hold on. So this is the screen where the relevant consultant and students, this is not the work of a finance consultant. This is the job of a material management consultant or the purchase person. Yeah. Did I answer your question? This is the place where you create a purchase order. ME23N is for display. As usual, one is for creation. How to make purchase order in SAP? Okay. I hope I have answered these questions. Guys, now I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Just hold on. Yeah. In the meantime, please feel free to ask me questions anytime, anytime. I would have muted myself, but I'll be very much available on the system. Okay, I'll join you in just 2 minutes time. Yes, students, I'm back. Hey, Kunal, thank you so much. You have shared a wonderful thing, which I'll be sharing with them. Okay, I'll share it with them. How notional costs are recorded. Okay. Can you just give me some time? I'll answer this question. Okay. Just give me some time and I'll answer this question. So was this how is the CO topic going on? And once we'll take another 10-minute break in another 2-3 minutes. Okay, take time to understand. And students, please believe me, this is a very, very huge module in itself. CO module cannot be even understood in a couple of hours. Whatever I'm doing, it is just on the surface. It is more than enough for you people to understand what the SAP system can have. Yeah? It is a wonderful, wonderful module. It may look a little complex in the very initial stages. How to use the budgeting and the variance analysis in SAP. So how do you use the budgeting and variance analysis without SAP? It is for the same reason. But you're allowing the system to get that variance analysis. You remember we had discussed something called as a version. Just hold on. When you saw the controlling area, oh, just hold on, guys. Let the system log in. I will show you. All right. The first and the foremost is the first setting up is here. Or rather, it is, sorry, I'll take you to another screen. Maintain versions. Just read the document. I will read out a document for you so that this could be of a great help as far as the see, the plan and the actual data for version 000 can be used in plan and actual comparisons and variance analysis. So you are basically setting up your CO area for the variance analysis through this something called as a versions. So as I said yesterday, normally we use a 0. Just see what is 0. Just hold on. Can you see this? This version 0. You can also take the help of F1. See, the indicator controls whether the data from variance calculations can be carried out in the version. So normally we have the 0 version, which we take it as a default. See, some user has created 100, 110, which has no variance analysis. Okay, and as you can see, the other versions do not even allow your WIP. The history of how these things are happening is different. Don't even bother about it. But just know, since you have asked me a question as to where can I have the variance analysis, this is the trigger point. I hope I've answered that question. WBS element is your work breakdown structure, which is a key concept in your project systems module. And why is it required for a document creation? It is just like a, see, what is a work breakdown structure? You are breaking open your project into visible milestones. correct? You are breaking open your project. You are breaking down your project into some identifiable milestones, which you create them as a WBS element in your SAP system, in your project systems model. This pertains to the project systems model. And just like your internal, just like your cost center, this WBS element also is a cost object to which you can assign your expenses, or to whatever thing you want to assign your WBS element, you can go. Clear? Work breakdown structure. WBS is work breakdown structure. Clear? Kunal, shall we break for maybe say 10 minutes?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Students will take a break for 10 minutes and we'll meet back by 12:15. Okay. We will start in another minute. What is a W? Why is it required? I think I've answered this question. Okay, students, I'm back. Yeah, we are just back and I'm about to share the screen. For somebody who asked me as to how we can, how Fury looks like, right? I just wanted to share that screen. Thanks, Kunal. Thank you so very much for.
Most welcome, sir.
Can you see this? So you have one tile for post journal entries, manage customer line items. This is how it looks like. So whatever, are you able to see this? I think this is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this? Post journal entries, manage customer line items, GL balances. So to whatever, these are all called as a tiles. One first tile, second tile, third tile, fourth tile. Basically what you lay on the floors, it is the same design. So basically SAP, when it moved to HANA, it concentrated not only on the user, what should I say? The user experience, but also it tried to beautify the screens. The aesthetic beauty of how the screen looks like was also taken into consideration. See, let me assume this is my mobile and I have had these tiles. OK, so this is how typically your your Fiori also looks like. So I click on this, I get into the screen. Clear? See, post general item. So I'm assuming that I have clicked on this item, post general entries, journal entries, and I have got into this. So this is typically how your Fiori looks like. I hope this question was answered. Right. Now, any other questions? Later, can we have access to SAP Fiori application to see the... I am not very sure about this. I am not very sure. Okay. Right. Now, so now did we have a fair understanding as to how or what things are happening in the CO side? Though this is, I mean, I wouldn't say it is even the basics. Lots and lots of things are in the CO module, but okay, some things are not. The moment is not correct for us to venture more into the CO mode. Somebody asked me regards to profit center. That was the only master data. I wouldn't, okay. That was the other master data, which is very, very important as far as the CO module is concerned. We will just see how the end user creates the profit center, what are the details, and how the consultant creates the profit center. Okay, now coming to the profit center. So what is a profit center? What is a cost center? It was an entity which was responsible for the accumulation of the costs. Simple. Perfect textbookish definition. So profit center is the reverse. Whatever department is responsible for the revenue generation for the organization is a profit center. What could be the typical example for your profit centers? Sales departments. All right. Now we will see how we can create a profit center. Accounting, controlling, profit center accounting, master data. Can you again see the standard hierarchy? So we were familiar with the standard hierarchy while creating the cost centers. So now the same logic applies to the creation of a profit center also. So as I had made a very, very generic statement, whatever you create in the CO module must be done on a structure, must be done on a backbone. So what is a backbone? It is your standard hierarchy. So I create a profit center. So the user need not have to bother about the creation of the standard hierarchy in anything like that. Okay, it is a job of a consultant. Individual processing KE51. Yeah. So the consultant or the end user creates the profit center here. Master data. I'll display. Let me just check if I have already created. Yes, I have created 2 or 3 profit centers. So I have created sales department 1, sales department 2. This is your sales department one. PCTR one is your profit center. PCTR one is a profit center for or describing the sales department one. Clear? You can go down, go down. Okay. Can you see the profit center hierarchy? So there can be nothing which can be created in the SAP system without the standard hierarchy. So this is how and one more important thing is whenever you create a profit center, you should always set it up in the, see, whatever changes you make in the profit center, it always gets saved in the inactive mode. Clear? And you activate. Why do you activate? For the end user to use the profit center. If it is in the inactive state, the end user cannot use this profit center. Clear? So this is how your profit center looks like. Now, what does a consultant do for the profit centers? Master data, profits. Define standard hierarchy, define profits. I define a standard hierarchy, I define a profit center within that hierarchy. So it is almost the same screen what is available for the end user. No, absolutely no change. Suppose I want to create a profit center 3. PCTR 3. So it takes me into the master data of the, see, it is inactive. Here, till I set it to the active mode, can you see on the top there is a candle-like icon? There is a torch-like icon which says activate. So till I activate this particular profit center, the end user cannot use this. Okay? And whatever changes, the first thing it saves the profit center in an inactive mode only. Now, did you see? So you see the other important informations of the profit center. And after the consultant gives the data, he saves it. See, even the option is save as inactive only. I should come back and then activate it, set it to the activate mode. Clear? It always saves the profit center in an inactive mode only. Clear? This is about your profit center. Is this clear? So this is a very brief insight into your CO mode. Now let us come back to the study content and see what is there. But all we have something interesting to read. I think we stopped at 650 plus pages, right? Yesterday. I don't remember the slide number. We had stopped here, I guess. No, let me just check. Key concepts and structures. I think we have already visited this. Now, please, in your free time, I'm also going to spend some time now till the lunch break to just ensure that all the subject has been covered at least conceptually. Clear? So you need not have to have doubts as far as the concepts in the CVO module is concerned. Practically, there are still thousands and thousands of things what I can show you. Clear? But may not be required because I'll be making the subject more and more complex than making it simple. Yeah. I think we had done this also. So he has started.
Aryan has joined the mountain bikes company as a management accountant. His job is to oversee controlling and management reporting and evaluate profitability results and understand how they were produced. The company uses
This is for all you people to read. Explain the structure of management accounting we have seen, right? So another half an hour we'll be spending. Oh, I think we have finished all this. Profitability segments, we have finished this. Overhead scenario 105, organizational units. Okay, let us visit the organizational units. Let me just see if we have covered everything. Guys, even if you read this, there'll be a different thing of understanding. Okay, so it is really worth it. How many ever times you revisit, you will keep learning something new. The following are the organizational units. So we'll spend some time even before we move on to the next and the only topic which we have it to cover, which is our integration. Okay? So tomorrow, today after lunch, we will start with the topic, and tomorrow let us see how fruitfully we can spend time together. Okay, because tomorrow is going to be our last session, and let me see if I can get some new questions, and tomorrow is all going to be your day. Clear? Whatever questions, whatever topics you want me to revise or revisit or show it to you on the SAP system, I'll be most happy to show it. Okay. So we know operating concern. You use the COPA module, and then there is something called as the operating concern. Yeah. So as you can see, you see the all other modules talking to your CO module. So let us try to finish at least till the 900 slides today, though it is going to seem a little boring. Let us do, it is just for me to conclude that we have nothing left. Clear? And also reduce your burden to come back and read later. At least you will know that what you can expect from your course content. Controlling area. Controlling area is a basic organizational unit in MA, management accounting. Closed entity for cost and revenue accounting. Do you see the structure here? The company code, Over and above that, it is a controlling area. And over and above that is your operating concern. Operating concern, when is it used? Only when the COPA module is used. Controlling, and now I think you're all experts in knowing what is a company code and all other things, right? So we also know what is a cross controlling area. We saw that in our settings. So when the controlling area is in charge of more than one company code, then you call it as a cross company code. Else it is company code same as the CO area, or the CO area same as the company code. We saw that yesterday, right? Company code, So what is a business area? Now, actually, let us say I'm into my organization into different businesses. So each business, whatever I am into, is a business area, as simple as that. Now, to add more information on the business areas, actually, this concept, once when the profit center accounting came up, or later when the segment accounting came up, this business area usage of business areas became obsolete. They became out of fashion. But let me add one more line. When we were doing a project for a PSU, we still used the concept of business areas only because that was the best solution what we could offer. And SAP also agreed to that point. So that is why SAP also does not say no to support such projects. If at all you have any issues as regards the business areas, sometimes changing of the business areas to profit centers or even segments becomes it becomes almost impossible. That's exactly what was happened in one of the PSU projects. So when we put forth the issue to SAP itself, yes, in some of the projects, if at all we are not able to resolve issues, right, despite your discussions, despite your best possible solutions, you're not able to come out of that error, you can always refer back to your SAP. You can always raise a ticket against SAP for it to solve. So what SAP does? SAP takes the virtual control of your system and tries to enter or tries to understand how you have set up the system for this particular issue. Yeah. So when we raise that issue, they also agree that it is okay if you retain the business areas, because changeover from the business areas to profit centers in respect of these certain projects is a little complex. But now, whatever new implementations have to happen, they will not use the concept of business areas. Yeah. So plant, it is an organizational unit developed by the material and the PP, production planning modules. Purchasing organization, again the MM. I think by now you're okay with this concepts, because we have already discussed this. Sales, it is a sales distribution. Correct. Customizing your controlling area. We have seen this controlling area. Now let us see if at all there is something new, I'll go back to the SAP system and tell you. You cannot allocate cost outside the controlling, the settings have to be made. Fine, no problem. The controlling area may contain more than one company code. I think this is very clear. One condition is the company codes which are being assigned to one controlling area must use the same operational chart of accounts. And if you want me to add one more line, fiscal year also is preferred to be the same. Preferably, it has to be the same. Okay. But even if the fiscal year is not the same, at least the number of periods should be the same. Clear? Maybe the second line you will not be in a position to understand. Still okay, not a problem. But the main thing is the company codes which are assigned to a controlling area must use one operational chart of accounts only. The same chart, the same operation chart of accounts. See, you can assign more than one company code to the operating concern. Right, but one operating one controlling area cannot have more than one operating concern. One operating concern can have n number of controlling areas, but one controlling area cannot have more than one operating concern. Clear? You can link the structures based on the requirement of the business requirement. The bottom line is that. I think we have seen all these statements, right? Multiple assignments. See, please read through. Okay, we have already known this. I'm just taking you through the study content just to ensure that nothing has been actually missed out. All self-explanatory. See the cost center master data. Haven't we seen this? We have definitely seen the master data for the cost center. The responsible person, the milling department. We saw all that. Same thing. You can click on the numbers so that you can get the cost centers. Cost centers are considered permanent master data. However, they can change over time. For example, the owner of the cost center, the owner of the department, or the departmental in charge may change. Possible. And you saw that user responsible, right? Where I used to enter names like John, Walker, or some names I had entered, right? That is it, right? So what is he trying to explain into functional area? Corporate expenditure into different functions in line with the requirements. Production, administration is the cost center category. Why is the cost center being used? In this is defined in how you allow the cost center to behave based on the business requirement. Yeah. So he has actually exemplified this with a bike company. Please read it. All are for you to read. There is nothing for me to interfere. Okay. I'm just quickly browsing through this just to ensure primary cost elements you are aware. So it is all the profit and loss accounts, which it is nothing but a GL account, your primary cost element. If a posting is to be made to an expense account in finance for which a primary cost element is created, you must enter an account assignment check. Cost controlling object, CO object. So cost center, internal order, or any cost object, your WBS element, right? We have seen all this, right? Nothing new. But you should also concentrate on the English because this is basically how you are supposed to address your communication, especially when you're talking essay. These are some terms which have to be used in your SAP environment. Secondary cost elements like your power costs, your utility expenses, whatever, where you're not able to identify the owner cost centers directly. Controlling master data. What is OM? Overhead management. Okay, don't have to break your head on that. So we saw what are activity types. It is a perfect link to your HR. Cost center master. Please read them through. Okay. Some fields in the cost center master data. Cost center hierarchy. We all know enough about the hierarchy now. Clear? Please read it. Nothing for me to lay special emphasis on these things. See, I said activity type, senior consultant, junior consultant, project manager. I gave you this practical example yesterday, right? When we discussed about the activity types. Remember? So he is paid at $300 per hour. So that's what we discussed. So these are all the practical things what we have done in the projects. So that is why when we give certain examples, they are specific to whatever we have done. So that instead of the explanation being only theoretically oriented, right? We also attach the practical usage of these particular things. Why is the activity type used? What is the meaning? Correct? So relationship between a cost center and a, see the cost center is FIS 301, which is FICO consulting. Right? So there could be another cost center. So you have defined FICO consulting, MM consulting, SD consulting, whatever. There could be different cost centers. So senior consultant is the activity type who's paid at $300 per hour and he is an FICO consultant. The cost center is FICO. Time waste. Just read it. Okay. So what is time waste? When I showed you the cost center or the cost, the profit center, you saw some validity date, valid from. I showed you that there was one cost center valid from 1/4/2025 to 31st of December 9999. Yeah, so that is your validity period. So I'll just open the SAP system if you want. Can I see this? I don't think so. No, just hold on. So just open out your master data. It could be your profit center or your cost center, anything. Not necessarily only the cost center. Pick up any cost center. See the validity date 01/01/2024 to. This is what he has termed it as a P. What is that? What words has used? P time-based master data. That's it. Can you see the person responsible? This is all what he says. Okay. So you can also carry out your operations on. Let me just see. Individual processing, collective processing. I think you must be aware of these terms now. Individual processing is only one number. Collective processing is n numbers. Carrying out the processing for more than one entity. We saw this concept in the reversal document, where we saw reversal for one document and we saw the reversal for n number of documents. Okay. So all these are, we have already seen this some way or the other. Yeah. So where do you see the statistical key figures? Just hold on. Can you see the statistical key figures here? Again, individual. Suppose I want to create a statistical key figure. Now, what is a statistical key figure? Just go to F1. Take it from the horse's mouth. Key uniquely identifying a statistical key figure. Statistical key figures represent the activities of a cost center, profit center, or an order. Now, they are measured in units of time or quantity. Now, what could be the typical example for a statistical key figure? Now, I get a telephonic charge of say 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees I feel is a huge figure. I want my management asks, let me get a breakup of how this 10,000 rupees I'm incurring for the telephonic charges. So now I want to identify the cost centers. So suppose I want to do this at the cost center level. How do I do it? You create a statistical key figures called as a telephonic charges for the particular cost center. And did I say the concepts of allocation and distribution, assessment and distribution? Are you getting some hang of the things? How you need to practically do it? It could be a little unclear at this moment. Do not worry. All right. Don't worry about this. But one typical example for your statistical key figures could be your telephonic charges. All right. Unit of measurement. I can pick up the how I want to measure per unit or whatever it is. There should be a unit somewhere. So there are so many units of measurement which you can consider for whatever statistical key you're creating. There has to be something called as unit. See, somebody has created Tesla. See, ton or joule, 1 ton. I'm looking for something unit called as unit. Okay. It could be a kg, it could be whatever it is. Okay. So this is normally units. Don't have to perfectly understand the working of it. See, the more I try to explain, the more boring it may seem, or it may be a little repetitive. Yeah. So don't bother about this. We already know what is an internal order. We have seen this. We have also seen the planning and the budgeting of an internal order. So basically, you use the concept of internal orders practically in your AUC, assets under construction. Normally, that is the practical usage of your internal orders. Clear? And you know, we had a exhibition example. Clear? But typically, we use the concept of internal orders for your more on towards the AUC, assets under construction. So telephone units, they are the statistical key figures. So why we do this is we remember having done this in the projects. So that is exactly why we can also relate. But probably driving home these points to make you understand this needs a little bit more of an understanding as to how this needs to be understood. Clear? Since you're all freshers to the system as well as to the professional world, it could be a little, it may seem a little difficult for you to understand. Okay, but you people are extremely intelligent, and I don't think it'll be very difficult once you get into the live SAP world. Things will not be as complex as they may seem. Okay. In the meantime, can I take up any questions? So in the controlling, I would suppress my explanation. So I may drop a few questions because it may not seem, it may make the subject more and more complex than making it more and more simple. Do you give some model task to what are the areas? No, I will not be giving. Segment reporting is done. Okay, I have got it, and it's fully integrated. Perfect. Yes, AC Docker. Okay, what is AC Docker? Which language are they written in pure types? Later, can we have an access to it? Please keep the link after 24th July. Hope this clears up. So basically, SAP C helps the company. Thank you so much, Kunal. You are helping me a lot by answering most of the questions.
Most welcome, sir.
So we'll just wait for 2 minutes and then break for lunch. In the meantime, let me just flip through a few slides. Planning, cost center planning. Where do you see the cost center planning? Can you see the planning? So yesterday we discussed about the budgeting and the planning, right? So you have something called as a planner profile. So you do not have to get into the depths. Please don't try to unnecessarily complicate things. Okay. Understanding the optimize. Okay. Let's discuss file upload. So these are all very, very generic things. Please go through them in your free time. Planning goals. See, you people are already professionals. So do I have to tell you what is the goal of planning your activities or planning for the organization? Absolutely no. Right? So Kunal, I think we can break for lunch. Yeah. And come back by 2 p.m.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
What is AC Docker? Okay, let me take up this question after the. Have you already explained this AC Docker, Kunal, by any chance?
Sir, hold on.
So he has already explained what is AC Docker, AC docking, right? By whatever name you want to call it. This is typically your HANA concept. Yeah, Kunal,
Just
go
now
ahead.
I have shared the details, sir. What is AC Docker in detail in that same question.
Sure. I read that, Kunal. Thank you. Thank you, Kunal.
Most welcome, sir. I think we should take a break and we will again meet you by
Sure.
2.
Sure, Kunal. Yeah. Okay. Okay, students, meet you after lunch.